Everyone talks about the freedom of homeschooling, the flexible schedule, the ability to travel, the joy of watching your kid finally understand something in a way the classroom never gave them time to. Nobody talks about the fact that pulling your kid out of school means you're suddenly responsible for funding their education, for managing their socialization, replacing the structure the school was providing, and doing all of it while trying to keep your business revenue from tanking. Hi, I'm Johanna. I'm a productivity and systems coach, and I'm pulling my kids out of school to homeschool them this year, all while running both of my businesses. I'm building this in real time, same as everybody else. And before I started, I did the honest math on what was actually going to cost me. Not just in dollars, but in time, in mental energy, and in the operational load that I was taking on. Today, I'm sharing all of it. The financial costs, the operational costs, and the cognitive costs that nobody warned me about. If you're considering pulling your kids out of school, or if you're about to start your first year and you're feeling the weight of everything you just signed up for, this video is for you. Let me start by reframing what we mean when we talk about the cost of homeschooling, because most conversations about this topic are really just conversations about curriculum budgets. And that's not the complete conversation. Yes, you have to buy curriculum. Yes, it absolutely can be expensive. But the curriculum budget is the easiest cost to calculate. You can Google it, you can comparison shop, and you can find free resources. The curriculum cost is visible and it's finite. The costs that actually break working moms are the invisible ones. The ones that don't show up on a spreadsheet until you're already in the middle of them. The time you didn't account for, the mental load you didn't expect, the operational systems you assumed would just figure themselves out. That's what we're talking about today. Not the books, but the real cost. Before we get into it, if you appreciate honest conversations about the reality of balancing a business and a homeschool, hit the like button and subscribe. I put out new videos every Sunday specifically for women doing both. Subscribing tells YouTube to show this channel to more moms who need it. Okay, let's start with money because it's the most concrete. The obvious costs are curriculum, supplies, and co-op or program fees. Depending on what you choose, curriculum for one child can run anywhere from a few $100s to over $1,000 every single year. If you have multiple kids, then you multiply that. If you're using a boxed curriculum from a company like Timberdoodle or Sunlight, you're looking at a significant upfront cost. But the costs that catch people off guard are the ones that come up with having your kids home all day, right? Your grocery bill goes up. They eat 3 meals and multiple snacks at home instead of eating lunch at school. Your utility bills go up because the lights, the air conditioning, the internet are all running all day long. You start paying for museum memberships, library programs, co-op fees, midday extracurriculars that you used to skip because your kids were in school during those hours. None of those costs are huge on their own, but they do add up. And they add up in a way that surprises you if you haven't planned for them. The biggest financial cost, though, and this is the one that I want you to sit with, is the opportunity cost. When you're teaching math at 10 a.m., you're not taking a discovery call. You're not going to a networking meeting, right? You're not finding new clients. You're not writing a newsletter. You're not working on a launch. You're not doing the revenue generating activities that keep your business alive. You have to be ruthlessly honest with yourself about how many billable hours you're losing per week. And then you have to adjust your business model to compensate. You might need to raise your prices. You might need to drop low margin services that take up too much time for what they pay. You might need to accept a temporary dip in revenue while you figure out your new rhythm. None of those options are comfortable, but pretending you can remove 15 to 20 hours of work from your week without it affecting your bottom line is not a plan. The second cost is operational, and this is the one that surprises most people because it's not about money at all. When your kids go to school, the school provides the structure. The school decides when they eat, when they play, when they transition between subjects, and when the day is over. You don't think about this when your kids are in school because you don't have to do it. It just happens. The school is running an operational system that manages your children for 68 hours a day, and you have been benefiting from that system without really realizing it. When you homeschool, you become the infrastructure. You're the one who decides what happens at 9 a.m. and what happens at 2 p.m. You're the one who enforces transitions. You're the one who decides when lunch is, how long it is, and who cleans up after. You're the one who manages the energy levels, the boredom, the sibling conflict, and the moment when your kid just doesn't want to do the next thing. And here's what that looks like in practice. Your kitchen table is now a classroom in the morning, a cafeteria at lunch, and it's your office in the afternoon. You're cleaning it up and resetting multiple times a day. Your living room is now a reading nook, a science lab, and a play space. The physical space of your home is being used in ways that it wasn't designed for, and you're managing that constantly. This operational load is heavy. If you don't build systems to manage it, like a weekly planning ritual or an emergency minimum or a clear daily rhythm, the operational demands of homeschooling will consume the time you need to run your business. You have to treat your household operations with the same level of seriousness that you treat your business operations. You need workflows for meals, for transitions, and for the end of the school day because you no longer have 8 hours of an empty house to catch up on everything the morning left behind. The third cost is the hardest one to measure, and it's the one that causes the most burnout. This is the cognitive or mental load. When your kids are in school, hopefully, there's a professional educator whose entire job is to monitor whether your child is learning, whether they're keeping up, and whether they need additional support. You trust that system. You don't have to think about it every day. You drop them off, and then you go run your business. When you homeschool, that responsibility is now yours, 100%. You're the one who has to evaluate whether your child understood today's math lesson or whether they just got through it. You're the one who has to notice when they're struggling and figure out why. You're the one who has to decide whether they push forward or slow down. And you're doing all of that evaluation in real time while also trying to teach, while also trying to run your business, while also trying to keep the house from falling apart. The question that lives in the back of every single first-year homeschool mom's brain is, am I doing enough? Are they learning enough? Am I ruining them? Those questions don't go away. They run quietly in the background all day long, every single day, and it uses cognitive resources. Now add that to the cognitive load of running a business, managing clients, tracking revenue, planning marketing, making strategic decisions. Your brain is running two massive, high-stakes operating systems simultaneously. This is why you feel completely exhausted by 2 o'clock in the afternoon, even when you haven't done anything physically demanding. It's not physical tiredness. This is cognitive depletion. The way to manage this is not push harder. It's to make fewer decisions in real time. Pre-make your decisions on a Sunday. Build your emergency minimum so you know in advance what a successful bad day looks like. Create transition rituals that tell your brain when one role ends and another one begins. The cognitive load doesn't disappear, but you can build systems that reduce how much of it you're carrying at any given moment. The cost of homeschooling is high. It requires money, time, and a significant amount of mental energy. But for a lot of us, the cost of leaving your kids in a system that isn't designed for them is even higher. You just have to go into this with your eyes wide open. You have to do the honest math on the financial cost. Build the operational systems before you need them and protect your cognitive bandwidth like the limited resource it is. And if you want to see how I'm structuring my actual week to manage all 3 of these costs without burning out, watch this next video. It's linked on the screen right now. Click it and I'll see you over there. And if this was helpful, please subscribe before you go. It genuinely makes a difference for the channel.